number is 410-269-2840.
Okay.
And then you can ask for me or Tom.
Okay, gotcha.
Do you think we'll have any numbers, like how many total precincts have been checked and how many, I don't know, ballots have been reviewed, that type of thing by the end of the day?
We're not reviewing any ballots. There are no ballots being reviewed. It's all the other election documents, but no ballots.
Ballots are all locked up. Am I
They're all
correct?
locked up.
Right, okay.
I don't even know where they are. They're somewhere
Right.
else. So no ballots.
So what's the right word I should use then, not ballots?
Right, it's election documentation.
Okay.
It's not ballots.
Okay.
Because if we're reviewing and counting ballots, that's going to be done in a very public process. This is reviewing the slips that voters sign when they check in.
Okay, so check-in slips.
The check-in slips, the
Okay.
reports from the voting system, the provisional ballot application. So it's almost everything but the ballots.
Okay, gotcha.
So we'll talk about giving updates. I have a state board meeting on Thursday afternoon that will give an update based on where we are at that point.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll be done or almost done
With that part of the process?
with this part of the process.
Okay.
What, how many provisional ballots are collected? Do you know that number?
I think it's
About.
7,000.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
I could be.
But
That's
just
why
so
she
I'm-
gave
my
you Brittany, because
understanding is,
she has the information.
my understanding is though, that's not, the real issue is more votes than VAX, voter authorization cards.
Right, so,
Yes.
right, there are regular VAX and there are provisional VAX.
Okay, gotcha,
Right, so
okay.
there's two kinds of VAX, and again, that's what's happening here, is they're being sorted between regular
Okay.
VAX by party and provisional VAX by party.
Right.
Because those documents help us come to,
Right, to try to
Figure something
reconcile,
out.
correct. But I mean, obviously, if you have 400 Democratic votes in the precincts, you should have 400 VAX.
we should afford a regular VAX.
Okay, and so, but are there also those that have neither a regular or provisional VAX? Apparently. So in other words, do you have 400 votes in a just as a hypothetical,
Sure.
you got 400 Democratic votes in a precinct, and you only have 350 regular VAX and 25 provisional VAX. Well, you wouldn't have a provisional, so yeah, that's my question is, you have more votes, you have 400 votes, but you don't have enough VAX to justify that.
Right, and that's what this process
correct.
is doing, checking that.
So what happened to cause the concern?
Well, I think, so the city found 80 ballots
Right.
last week after they
Right.
certified. So that would require
Right.
them to reopen it. And then as we are doing our normal post-election reconciliation
Right.
at the state board, we noticed some things that we thought, well, if you're reopening, let's
Right.
not reopen, count, and certify again. Let's reopen and let us
Check the
work through this
paperwork, right,
process.
correct.
And decided that this would probably be the best way to.
So ordinarily, on election night at the poll, okay, does someone say, here's the number of VAX, here's the number of votes?
There is a reconciliation that the judges perform at the end of the day.
Okay.
Of how many Democratic ballots,
Right.
how many Republican, how many ballots. Yes, they
Gotcha.
do that initial review before
Right,
the
so
end.
that, and that goes on a form? Okay, so when you look, when the form was reviewed initially, did it say, wait a minute, we don't have enough backup docs to say that's how many people voted? I mean, how did that get noticed that there
Well,
were?
at our level, it's all just data.
Okay,
We're
right.
not looking at these forms
Gotcha.
right here.
Right.
But we have ways to aggregate the data and do some analysis.
Okay.
And when we were looking at the check-ins versus the
Right.
voting units, there were some
Discrepancies.
differences that we
Check-ins.
said, okay. Right, so the check-ins are through the poll books.
Right.
That's what generates the VAX.
Correct.
So the poll book is data, and then the voting system data we of course have too, and that's
That's
the
the
analysis.
scan, that's what gets scanned, okay.
Right, so we're just getting data exports and running the comparison.
Correct, okay.
We don't need the original documents to do some of the initial review.
And do we have a better handle on the size of the discrepancy yet?
That's what this process
Okay.
is working through.
Because originally, I think the Post reported there were hundreds
I
originally,
earned a number of 1,600.
and then I was told that you can't give any numbers.
I heard it was within the margins. Within, meaning, less than.
Less than.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's probably less than 2,400.
Right, I don't think this process isn't going to change the
Right.
winners. The
Okay,
results
gotcha.
might adjust because
Right.
we already know there are at least 80 ballots that have
Right,
to be
right,
canvassed.
right.
They all might be
Right.
rejected for all we know. We don't know
Right.
that yet.
Right.
But that's the process that will happen with the city board whenever they need to.
But the question that I can't wrap my head around, and I don't know if you guys can either, is that is it conceivable that some votes in a precinct that were cast and scanned through are going to be discounted? Because there's nothing to substantiate them. There's no check-in, there's no back, there's no provisional, there's nothing. Well, there shouldn't be a provisional.
So is it conceivable that it happens? Sure.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, right.
If that turns out to be the case,
Right.
we can't get the ballot back.
No, we don't know who they don't know. You don't know who it came from. Correct. What happened?
I mean, they've been counted. We can't
Right.
take it out to say, oh, we'll rescan that precinct
right,
with these
right.
5 ballots. How would they
No.
would have to stay in?
So no votes are going to get thrown out that have been scanned. Okay, gotcha.
No stand votes for now, even though we know that
Tell you
there
what,
are
man.
ones in there.
Can't do it.
So another thing,
Theory about what happened. My theory.
so you said that
Some things, and maybe not.
Right.
so the discrepancy is within the margin of error of the mayor's race, but what we don't know about specific council races, whether those precincts have enough votes in their margin of error or no. Do we know?
You don't think there are? You don't think it's going to change this result?
I don't think we do.
So there's like some council races that have about 200 votes between them or so,
45 and 7.
or even smaller. Okay.
But what you're saying is there are votes, you think that it's possible that there are votes added to the tally, but you're saying it's not possible that votes are going to be taken away from the tally.
Right. We know there are votes to be added because there are at least the 80 ballots that the city found last week. And if one of them is accepted, then the
Right,
tally
right,
changes, right?
It's not going to change the outcome.
But there could be more votes counted, but there won't be, even if you determine that there are 300 discrepancies that you can't account for, potentially 300 people who voted who shouldn't have, that the number doesn't get.
We can't go down,
Right.
we can't pull out those ballots because of the secret ballot.
But you will tell us a number.
Yeah, to the extent that we can reconcile, we will.
So if there's a discrepancy of, there were 400 votes cast, but we only have voter authorization cards for 395, you're going to tell us that.
That there's a discrepancy.
Right, gotcha, okay.
And do you know if there are any cases of the reverse being true? So whereas check-ins but no votes cast?
Yes, and that's, yes.
There are some instances
Is
of that
that
as well.
is that something you see in every election? Okay, so people change their mind, they decide not to vote.
It's all sorts of things. They get an
Right.
emergency phone call from
Right,
work,
whatever.
they can't wait, their kids throwing up.
Right,
We call
correct.
them fleeing voters, yeah,
Sure.
that happens.
Okay.
We have a process for that.
But
Sure.
what's more problematic are votes that are here and there's no
Right.
documentation.
Gotcha.
Okay. And you've seen that in other elections too, am I correct? Have you seen this problem before?
Well, with the touchscreen, it was,
Oh,
you
right.
didn't have paper.
Yeah, right.
So,
Yeah, you didn't
you
notice
had,
it, right?
yeah, you had nothing,
Right.
if you got a provisional, you couldn't do anything with it
Right.
because there was no machine to take it.
Correct.
And so it's hard to say because we've just changed systems
Right.
so
It's a brand new
Right.
system.
Right.
So, and I mean, this happens at counties all over the state, right? So how much larger is the city's problems than the other counties?
significantly larger for us to want to do a precinct level review.
And how are the 60 precincts determined?
Looking at where the discrepancies were the biggest.
And the discrepancies came from looking at the number of check-ins versus what came off the machines? And then a next step, if there's a recount, would be looking at the check-ins, the machines, and then counting ballots.
Well, the recount would just be counting ballots.
But you would have provided the public the data of steps 1 and 2
But a recount
separately.
is limited to retabulation.
Got it. But if you're if you're saying there are 18 people that checked in, there are 22 ballots counted on the machine, we would assume there would be 22 ballots
To recount.
to recount. Got
So
it.
for recount, you would then retabulate these 22 ballots.
Got it. But you would be building off this, the data set by this process.
Fraudulent vote.
Sure, but a recount,
Say that
the
again.
four walls of the recount are retabulated.
What she's saying
What
is
you
that if
gained
there's a
through other
recount, we'll just be
processes.
Right,
recounting
but what I'm saying is,
fraudulent
if
votes.
you're saying there's a discrepancy
just
between the number of
recount.
people that check in and the number of,
Ridiculous.
the number of ballots
Oh,
cast
what you said.
by the scanner, then there could also be a discrepancy about the number of ballots, but could be fewer or less ballots. But you're not doing that part at all, that part would have to come from a recount. Okay. Because there could be 25 ballots that people thought were counted, right, or came
Well,
through the
that should
machine
be on the
on the
machine
check,
report.
right, got it.
That machine report should say 25.
And but there were also a number of provisional ballots that came to the Board of Elections from each precinct.
Yes.
And that information has not been made public yet, how many provisional ballots per precinct. But, and so but 3,000 of them were not counted, and somewhere around 4,000 were already. Because 3,000 were thrown out. They're not counted,
Rejected.
rejected.
I don't know those numbers.
Okay.
So you're closer to the city provision
Right.
numbers than I am.
Okay.
And how long do you think this whole process will take?
Done this week.
So the whole reconciliation will be done this week?
That's our, yeah.
Okay. That's great.
But you're only reconciling things.
Right, exactly.
False results.
Right, Adams County, they, one vote separated the candidates, and they recounted it. And the significance was that it was the entire balance of power in the Pennsylvania legislature.
Wow. No pressure.
No, that was the most significant one vote,
Your
yes.
vote matters.
Oh, to Florida. Yeah, correct, exactly right.
You've done about 25%.
Are the 60 precincts in a particular area or all of them? That'd be great. You can send them out, that'd be, yeah, great.
What time does work finish today?
Can you email them out? How are you doing that? Put them on your website? I know you're not like a well-oiled meeting machine because you don't normally have everybody bugging you every 10 minutes, okay?
Putting it on the website would prevent a lot of bugging.
Yes,
We
that's
just
correct.
go to
You
a
just-
scan.
Right, yeah, correct.
So as far as the timetable, the reconciliation will be done this week, but recertification, that's something that
we're
will
good to
wait
go.
for
All right,
another
I'll see you
day,
back
or
later.
is that
We're good.
expected Thursday?